Howdy, McMicken Heights Church. Pastor Matt here, coming at you with the weekly update for September 8th. This Sunday, we are going to be looking at the life of Daniel in the Old Testament. We're going to be looking at his example in life and in prayer of how he respected the name of the Lord. So hopefully you'll be there. I think you're going to enjoy it. I've been enjoying preparing for this sermon this week immensely. So hopefully you guys will be too. This week's update is chock full of like calendar events and things for you to mark on your calendar. So please be marking your calendar with all the things that are coming up. And with that, kind of my Pastor's Corner update is a little bit about another event, because as many of you know, I enjoy playing video games, and I've enjoyed playing video games my whole life. And during the pandemic, I set out to build a community to help bridge the gap between gamers and the gospel. And as I was doing that, I found myself interacting with other people with similar ambitions. And one of my buddies that's still heavily engaged in that community is having a webinar entitled Leveraging Digital Influence. And that's going to be on Friday, September 16th at 1 p.m. I have a link for the registration for that. And yours truly is going to be one of the guest speakers at that, talking at that. So I will be there speaking at that. And because, it's a place that's near and dear to my heart. Gaming is a place where you can go to meet friends and make friends with people you don't even know that might live next door. They could live states away. They could live on the other side of the country. Who knows? If you're interested in knowing how you could use online influence for the gospel, I would invite you to attend that. So that's coming up. We do also this Saturday, it's coming up, the barbecue at our house. We're excited. That's going to be 5:30 on Saturday, September 10th. Bring yourselves. If you want to bring like a beverage to share, we're going to have some ice chests and just throwing some drinks in there. Food will be covered, and we hope to see you there for that. And then also on September 22nd, we are launching a young adults small group. So if you are like 18 to age 20, I think I put it as 20 question marks, somewhere in the 20s, right? Your young adult age, we would highly encourage you to attend. It's going to be meeting at Mar House, just across the street. It's going to be every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. starting on September 22nd. So young adults, invite your friends. Love to have you over at our house. We're going to be going through a course or kind of a curriculum that's called Design for Discipleship. And so we're going to go through that together. It will vary week to week and not necessarily stick to it strictly, but that'll be the bulk of what we're going to be looking at, is developing ourselves into disciples of Christ. We're going to be having another yard party coming up on September 24th. Save the date, 9 to noon. Bring your work gloves and a smiling face. I know it can be hard sometimes when it's that early in the morning, but we need to kind of spruce up the property again because Harvest Fest is coming. So we want to make the grounds look good. So also on September 27th at 6 p.m., I'm going to be having an all-church prayer meeting. It's going to be an hour long from 6 to 7. It's going to be a time of guided prayer. And you say, well, Matt, what is that? What does that look like? Where we'll gather together, we'll circle up some chairs. This isn't going to be like me leading from up front and you sitting in the pews. We're going to be facing each other. There might be some hand-holding, maybe some heads bowed, some heads raised, some kneeling. But it'll be a time where we say, hey, let's pray for our community. And we'll pray for our community. All right, let's pray for our leaders. All right, let's pray for our children. Let's pray for our coworkers. So it'll be a time of guided prayer, and so we'll just pray until we don't hear any more prayer. So if you're a little anxious about like coming to a prayer meeting, like do I have to pray out loud? You don't have to. That just means there'll be a little more silence for the rest of us that are there as well. But that is coming up on September 27th. That's a Tuesday at 6 p.m. It's going to be at the church. But Harvest Fest is coming. Our ads have now started running as of today, the 8th, on Facebook. So interaction is already starting to happen where you go, ooh, it's exciting. Like, Lord, what's this going to be? What is this going to turn into? Are we just going to be swamped and overwhelmed with people, come October 8th? So we're excited about it. Harvest Fest will be one of the things at the prayer meeting that we'll be praying about. And I ask you to be continuing to lift the Harvest Fest up in prayer to the Lord right now. But we're getting down to crunch time for Harvest Fest. We're going to have another meeting, and it might be our last meeting before like a meeting right before, like on October 7th. But on Sunday, the 25th of September, after the service, we're going to have another Harvest Fest meeting. just to kind of go over some of the details, last minute details, make sure everything's kind of squared away. We've been asking people if you have a canopy and you'd be willing to let us lend it. We're calling now for those canopies. If you've been thinking about it, we need you to let us know, and then we'd ideally like you to bring them and drop them off at the church. We have a place where we're going to store those, so that way we really have kind of a canopy head count for our setup and what it's going to look like as we set up for Harvest Fest on our campus. So we are going to be having a sign-up sheet for volunteers for shirts, because we need your shirt sizes. So that'll be being passed around and in the back on Sunday. And just a reminder that this week, too, we will be having prayer in the upper room, also known as the youth chapel, before the service, starting at 9:40. So if you're inclined to come pray with the elders before the service, we'd highly encourage you to come and pray with us. So I think that's all that I have for the announcements. It was a lot of announcements, a lot of things to put on the calendar. Please mark those calendars, be up to date, and I'm excited to see you guys on Sunday, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. God bless.